My apologies, folks. The time ran out on me. My apologies, folks. The time ran out on me. Oh, let me see. What do I need to do to adjust this light here? Try this. Nope. Ah. My apologies, folks. The time ran out on me. Time ran out on me. Well, I know I'm live, but I can't see me yet. I don't know what's going on. Well, but I can't see me yet. I don't know what's going on. Well, but I can't see me yet. Well, but I can't see me yet. Oh, that would help.
Bluetooth mode. Auxiliary mode. Bluetooth mode.
Oh, let me see now. All right, that's better. Greetings, seekers after enlightenment. Yes, it is the Irish fellow. He is live. Absolutely. So, now that we're really going, let me take off my robe. All right. Now you can see I am appropriately dressed. Welcome, brothers. It is indeed a pleasure, honor, and privilege. Whoop, how about looking at the camera, Junior? There we go. It is indeed a pleasure, honor, and privilege to be here with you this evening. And you know, I was thinking, man, there may be nobody that even shows up, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be out there in the manosphere and you can check it out later if you didn't catch it live. Regardless, I am so excited to be doing this. And but before we get going, I just wanted to say that I was prepping for this, and I even shaved for you raggedy motherfuckers. That's right, I like you that much. So I was getting more and more excited, and a little anxiety started to form, and I had to check myself. And whenever you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're always going to have some nervous energy. And all I had to do was change the name. It's like, no, this isn't anxiety. This is excitement. This is anticipation. Yes. And all that nervous energy just faded away. And now I'm filled with enthusiasm. Well, I know some of you would probably say bullshit, but here I am. Yes, live bearing his soul, showing his ass, and doing his best to not only increase his own karma, but to increase the enlightenment of you brothers out there. Now, let's see here. We need some music here. Let's see. Let's see. Nope, you know what? Let's just... We will start that, and there we go. Now, let me... Alrighty. So, okay, I'm off. Eddie MGTOW, welcome. It is going very well. And Sigma Solitude, my man. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi to me. That's freaking awesome. I really appreciate that. So, brothers, today is a very important day in the history of the old Irish fella. It was 5 years ago today that my divorce became official. Therefore, henceforth and hereafter, this day will be known as Freedom Day. Yes. And I decided in the spirit of Freedom Day that I would entertain you brothers with a little talk. It's about freedom from and freedom to. Now, let me see. No, that's that one. Oh, now where's the other one? Oh, it's right there. There we go. Boy, I tell you, doing this live is actually a whole nother experience. It's like, if I make a little faux pas when I'm taping, it doesn't bother me, but here it's bothering me maybe more than it should. But, we're in the brutal honesty regime here. I don't mind a slight bit of embarrassment. So, we have, freedom from. But freedom from what? Blinded by the power of the Golden V and TradCon expectations, I married a chameleon. I thought I'd captured a rare creature, a unicorn. Through those blue-colored glasses, I looked at my bride and counted my blessings. I was so unaware. Now I am free. My first freedom, me with my OCD, there's got to be 3 items, so let's look at the physical first. Let me see. I think that's putting a shadow on my face. Of course, a lot of y'all might say, with a shadow, I might look better. I am free from a vile creature. When you view someone like that through a red lens of truth, you can see a mutant. It's a nightmare combination that was bred in a feminist laboratory. A combination of lamprey and succubus. And now I've put those in the right place at the right time. I mean, what? Yes, what else would I be drinking but the PBR? Yeah, buddy. Now, next, there is a mental component. There's a great deal of stress that comes with the failure to meet expectations. And compound that with estrogen fueled emotional extortion. Not a good deal. You know, it's been, I've said, and Sandman especially said, when you're in love, and especially if you gave some vile creature a back door through all your logical armor and to strike right at your emotions, oh, not a good look, Junior. But now that's gone. Rational thought has reestablished itself. As far as the spiritual element, there are always things that distract you as you seek enlightenment. And I tried not only the TradCon route, but the metaphysical route as well. But when you're being drained by an energy vampire, you barely have the strength to live, much less improve yourself. But now, you know, I can use the little energy that I have for a noble purpose. Let's see. Yes, and now there's freedom too. For me, it's the pleasure of being able to sleep in or take a nap whenever I want, without someone screeching in your ear about, you need to do something now. Well, bitch, why don't you get up and do it? Your legs ain't broken. Now, as far as the mental component goes, you know, everyone worries. You know, it's something that's, it just shows up. I'm not sure if it's due to culture or the way our brains are wired, but it always happens. But when you're freed from that energy vampire and you're worrying about yourself and yourself alone, it has to reduce stress. And as far as the spiritual goes, you can now set your own standards. You can seek enlightenment from any source you wish, and there's nobody to complain or to say, oh, that's nasty, why are you doing that? That's of the devil. Or, well, you say you want to do this, but, you know, our guru, cult leader, says you're not bona fide, so you need to step the fuck off. But the beauty of being a man going your own way is that not only can you take the time to research, you can also also ask your brothers. And I admit it's something that I haven't done enough, but it's something I need to do more. You know, I've turned the corner. Now, let me show you this. This is a band that's on my right hand. In this position, it indicates someone that's a widower. And this is very important to me because it is a constant sign that I can look at whenever and remind myself that the old life with all the old struggles, the few victories and the many defeats, according to someone else's standard, that life is dead. And it is not an exaggeration. And as I've mentioned in other videos, that almost all the memories of my marriage of 32 years are fading. I have no reason to look back at them. Sure, there were good times, but compared to the continual cycles of emotional and occasional physical abuse, they're kind of drowned out. So believe me, some people might say I'm crazy for allowing this to happen, but believe me, having that mental burden freed from me has helped me to achieve a great amount of joy. So, I wanted to give you that quick deal about how I felt the from and to from my own personal perspective. And I have some reference material that I'm going to go through. Now, I did read through these and note the good points. And I printed them all out so I didn't have to be fumbling with the laptop. All except for one, which I'm gonna have to find. No, actually, I'll just use the ones I wrote down. Yes, there is a website called brainyquote.com. All I did was use DuckDuckGo. If you're using Google for your internet searches, you are a dumb motherfucker. DuckDuckGo does not keep track of anything. It's the way to go. So, I have several articles that I will reference here. And we'll see what we can do here. Now, but you know what? Before we do that, I think we need to adequately prepare. Now, remember, the Irish fella said that he was going to procure quality liquor. And I'm not sure. Okay, I gotta wait for the lag. Make sure you can actually see this. Okay, there we go. This is Talisker Single Malt Scotch Whiskey, 10 years old. And I'll have to admit, that there I was in the liquor store, and because this is a quality occasion, I was perusing the top shelf. And I'll admit, my palate is a little more refined than the average person when it comes to quality liquor, but I am by no means an expert. I'm reading all this stuff about single cask, oak cask, sherry cask, bourbon cask. Some scotches are distilled and then aged in 3 separate casks. So I'm like, wow. So I'm going to have to research that. See what we got here. So let's see. Let me get my glasses on here. Established 1830. Talisker Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. From the rugged western shores. Okay, why don't I have my music? Okay, well, let's just take that out of here. See what we can do. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, that would help. There we go. So, from the rugged western shores of the Isle of Skye comes a richly flavored maritime malt with a warming afterglow. It's easy to enjoy, yet, like Skye itself, is hard to leave. Okay. It's 90 proof. Oh, okay. You got my attention. Alrighty now. There we go. I would appreciate some feedback if the music is too loud or too low to enjoy. I have to admit, when I do my videos, I really, it's such a primitive technique that I have no idea what the sound levels are until I listen to it myself. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not bad. Not extremely impressive, but not bad. Okay, let me grab a shot glass. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Ah. So, brothers, a tip of the hat to you, and a reminder, every day's a good day when you're a man going your own way. Wow, not bad. Whew, this is a smooth little some bitch here. The flavor doesn't grab you by the tongue and tie it in a knot. Ah, wow. The flavor is definitely different from any other scotch I've had. This is amazing. Oh, thanks, Eddie. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Um, this scotch, the flavor is it's different, but it seems like it's something that would kind of wear on you after a while. So this would be a nice change of pace scotch. It would definitely not be go-to, but it definitely would be on the B list. So that okay, you pass. Alrighty now. So first we have a TradCon source. This is from the LDS Church General Conference talks. If you're not aware of General Conference, every April and October, around the first weekend of those months, everyone gathers together in churches, church buildings, and in the huge conference center in Salt Lake City to hear general authorities. These are like high senior ranks of people in the church. And I was very surprised to find out that they are not given detailed, specific topics to talk on. They may be given a few words, and that's it. So, of course, using my translation skills, I will translate this from Tradcon to Black Irish Hippie for you. So, let's see. Oh man, even the first line is good. I don't know what's up with my music player, but it's like it's not repeating. Let's see. Well, let me try this. Ah, there we go. We become alive as and this is the title of the talk was Freedom from or Freedom to. We become alive as we take knowingly full responsibility for our own life and as we stop blaming circumstances. And, well, yeah, that's some heavy shit there. Absolutely. Because as a man going your own way, you know you're responsible to and for yourself. Other people can help, but you cannot totally rely on someone else. And why would you want to? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Let's see. So, he talks about a church member in Germany. And he's invited to a big dinner party with the boss. And he's such a good worker, the big boss of the company says, yo, Junior, you sit right here next to me. And he's like, oh shit, man. The boss drinks beer like a fish, and I know he's going to want me to. But Mormons adhere to something called the word of wisdom. They don't do alcohol, no drugs other than prescription stuff. And some eat meat very sparingly too. And it's actually not a bad way to live. I think the Seventh-day Adventists do a similar deal, and they people that adhere to their dietary standards seem to have very long lifespans. So, yeah, it's something to think about because remember you got to take care of yourself. Now, as far as I'm concerned, after my little life event, I started eating more vegan just so I would get more vegetables in my diet because lately, when you're toothless, it's hard to eat things like corn. So I'm eating more vegan, but I still will eat meat. I mean, like yesterday for dinner, I had 2 huge hot Polish sausages, and that was it. It's a deal I read about in Muscle and Fitness magazine quite a while back. That if you eat your carbs very early in the day and slack off on the carbs and add protein during the day, then for your night meal, you eat almost all protein and no carbs or starches at all. When I first started doing it, it about killed me because it was so tough. Because your body thinks it's going crazy. It's like, wait a minute. Where's my chips? Where's my soda? Where's my candy? But you don't need that shit. So, the guy's at the party. He's afraid he's going to drink. And he said that the boss hands him a beer and he's like, no, man, I can't do it. I made a promise to God not to drink. And if I violated if I violated God's trust, no person would trust me either. And the boss was so impressed that he gave him a hug and Let's see. Speaking words of profound admiration and confidence. Well, there you go. Now, you know, if you're a man going your own way, you got to rely on your own resources and those of trusted brothers. So, I mean, if I'm around someone who says, oh, no, you know, alcohol has been pretty bad to me, I don't want to drink. Well, out of respect for him, I wouldn't drink a beer in front of him. So, especially if you decide to pursue spirituality, uh, you and commune with the infinite to try to improve yourself. I know, certainly in my case, of course, that was, you know, tradcon conditioning. You know, you feel inadequate. You know, inadequate, incomplete. Well, of course you're incomplete because you're unbalanced. But, you know, when you make that commitment to seek the infinite, and I can definitely say this for myself, it it's a great source of strength knowing that you can use that spiritual connection to overcome obstacles. Now, and when you find a source of spirituality that you want to follow, there is a freedom from, because he didn't say it specifically here or I missed it, but it's like you are, you're freeing yourself from adherence to man's principles, which are transitory and ephemeral. When you are able to contact the source of higher truth, you know, you know, as it says here, when you just desire something like I want a cheeseburger, you only work towards it when it's convenient. And it's like, you know, that do I want to run out right now at a dead sprint and go over to Sonic to get a cheeseburger? Well, maybe not. But when you're bound, you know, however you're approaching your spirituality, and you uh, decide to commit yourself to something bigger than mere human principles, that you become more alive, he says, as we take knowingly full responsibility for our own life as we stop blaming circumstances. Now, of course, circumstances still happen, but if you're a man going your own way, you know that you have more control of what you can do. Who knows your advantages and limitations better than you? Yes, Eddie, it is the man's destiny to learn to be your own man or perish. Perish. That. Big Daddy government ain't for us, that's for sure. Exactly. And I will touch on that in another reference source. Now, let's see. One thing, of course, we know. Having freedom, too, means that we have the potential of making wrong choices. Wrong choices have their merciless consequences. I mean, if you are going to be a PUA and, you know, just cruise the bars looking for trifling hoes to smash, well, you know, you just don't know. I mean, what's going to happen? You end up being a baby daddy, or you get an STD, or you get accused of rape. Oh, not a good look. You know, Making wrong choices leads you into misery and pain. Now, those of you who are married, of course, you already know what misery and pain look like. So, let's see now. Oh, let's see. When we have received this life enabling message, and that's, however you have approached your spirituality, you begin to understand that in your earlier life you were like a football player standing in the middle of the field. Totally depressed because you do not know the purpose and rules of the game. You don't know which team you belong to. You don't even know who the coach is. Only in the awareness of spiritual principles that resonate within you and you decide to follow, your game plan becomes clear. And you realize that increasing your spirituality will help you succeed in your earthly experience. And yeah, that makes sense. Let's see now. Okay. Now, this one ended up in the wrong spot. I'd rather take this one. Let's see, what have I got here? Oh, okay. So, our next one comes from Boston University. And freedom to versus freedom from. So, of course, because of our circumstances, we place a lot of value on freedom. Of course, you think about it. When the United States was established, this was the first country that actually said that, a government is not just someone who says, oh, God put me here so I can give you the pimp hand all I want, or we got the guns so you do what we want or you get two to the back of the head. Now you have to admit, if you boil it down to its essentials, people on the left and the right, even though those terms are sort of archaic, they're both, they say that, while sharing little in common ideologically, are united in their reverence for rights and their concerns about losing them. But I noticed you examine leftist positions. And let's see. The emphasis has been on issues like the right to safe reproductive care and pay equity and the right of workers to unionize. What is that? Well, now, actually, workers unionizing, I consider that a libertarian principle. So the left doesn't own that one exclusively. But the others, that's more feelings. I was like, no! Now, let me see now. Oh, so there are other rights, this paper says, on the basis of freedom from. These include the right to live free from socio-economic insecurity or from the threat of environmental disaster or the hazard of preventable injury and disease. And then that they show their leftist roots here when they say promoting freedom from is in large part the work of public health. But they show just a little bit of common sense when they say, in doing so, however, we sometimes find ourselves accused of paternalism, of infringing on the freedom to rights of others. Well, no shit. You know, you think about it, you know, now, personally, I think abortion is nasty. It's some woman saying, I don't care that there's another human life inside me. It inconveniences me, so I want to get rid of it. Now, even the Mormons say there are cases where abortion is necessary. But what do you do when these feminazis are screaming, my body, my choice? And it's like, well, bitch, it ain't your body no more. You're carrying a baby. But, you know, they do the nice little psychological workaround. It's not a baby. It's a non-viable tissue mass. I actually had one leftist friend call a baby a parasite. Which technically may be true, but it's like, what the fuck, man? If your mom had talked shit like that, you wouldn't be here. Or as my man, President Reagan said back in the day, it's a funny coincidence that everyone in favor of abortion is alive. Let's see now. Now they say the Bill of Rights are a great document because it contains freedom from and freedom to. Let's see. Right to freedom of speech and assembly, to bear arms, to due process, to a speedy and public trial, and to a trial by jury. The remaining 5 amendments are either quite clearly freedoms from, as in freedom from unreasonable search and seizure, from having to quarter soldiers during times of war, from excessive bail and the infliction of cruel and unusual punishment. And now they note that, oh, well, you know, them darkies down on the plantation didn't get the vote. They were only counted as 3/5 of a person. Oh, side rant. I hear dumbass motherfuckers all the time saying, oh, well, you know, even the founding fathers didn't care about us as real people. Why else would they say we're 3/5 of a person? Well, it just so happens that during the debates, the southern states wanted slaves to count as people for the census as far as determining representation. But of course, they had no voting rights. So what do you think would have happened? Import more slaves? Now, of course, somebody was paying attention because it sure as hell is what's happening now. We import lots of illegals, we let them vote illegally, and voila, we win. Yeah, that's what the Southerners were trying to do. So the 3/5 measure was a compromise to ensure that they did not overwhelm the northern states. But, well, for some reason, you know, that don't mean nothing. Oh, well, you know, they said I'm 3/5 of a person. You know, fuck you. It's like, no. Understand history, Junior. Let's see. So, they go on to say, this freedom to emphasis has shaped our political reality in ways both positive and negative. Oh, okay. Now we get the leftist spin. When we have fallen short of these ideals, the struggle for freedom, for civil rights, equal protection under the law, and a more equitable society where all can access the same rights regardless of race, gender, or orientation, has done much to the... blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see. Oh, and now here's where they showed their ass. Here's here are the organizations they say are right up front in making sure everybody has equal rights. Planned Parenthood, American Civil Liberties Union, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and the Southern Poverty Law Center. So we know Planned Parenthood, there's no planning. There's no actual female reproductive care. It's an abortion mill that makes money for them. In the Southern Poverty Law Center, you raggedy motherfuckers, I give you the pimp hand till Jesus got tired. Because you little bitches, anybody you don't like, suddenly, oh, they're a hate group. I mean, didn't they say men's rights activists were now a hate group? For just wanting equal treatment under the law? Ah, see? So, let's see. So, they cry about, let's see, problem of gun violence is a case in point. The right to arms to a small but vocal minority of Americans come to mean the right to unfettered firearm access at all times, to all places, to every kind of gun. That's right, bitch! What does the Second Amendment say? No. Shame on me. Patriot like me doesn't even have it memorized. But the part I definitely remember is, shall not be infringed. That means keep your grubby little crumb snatchers off my bazooka. Go buy your own. So, the gun violence has to do with people, not the gun. But the leftists have done such a great job of conflating the issue that now they can say, oh, you don't want gun restrictions. That means you don't care if kids get shot. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Let's see. Oh, we have also seen pushback against everything from seatbelt laws to portion controls for sugar-sweetened beverage to indoor smoking bans. But that they say, oh, Dan, it's such an issue because we're getting pushback from people who want the freedom to do what they want. Oh, fuck yeah. I believe it was Washington State a little bit ago actually tried. I don't know if they succeeded or not, but I remember hearing about it. They were going to pass a law saying that if you are smoking a cigarette and kids are in your car, you can be charged with child abuse because they're exposed to secondhand smoke. So, naturally, leftists view the Constitution as weak and old and archaic. And they say the Constitution should be a living document. You need to get the fuck out of here with that shit. The Founding Fathers knew what they're doing. Oh, Eddie. Oh, let's see. Okay, he's got two. In Australia, one of those feminazis wants it to be lawful to kill the baby up to 2 weeks after birth. Oh, yeah, that's nasty. And then I just saw a deal on Facebook. I didn't know about the law, so I guess now in New York State, which I'm glad I left, you can actually kill the baby via abortion on the day it is going to be born, and there's no problem. Really? What the fuck is wrong with you? Damn. I could go off on a rant on that, but I'm trying to control myself. So, let's see. So, let's skip to a good quote here. This is Edmund Burke. He said this in 1789. The liberty I mean is social freedom. It is that state of things in which liberty is secured by the equality of restraint. A constitution of things in which the liberty of no one man and no body of men and no number of men can find means to trespass on the liberty of any person or any descriptions of persons in the society. This kind of liberty is indeed but another name for justice, ascertained by wise laws and secured by well-constructed institutions. Well, damn. That's a bona fide motherfucker right there. He broke it down. Yes. And that, you know, I'd say that sounds like the basis of libertarian philosophy. You know, and I'm a strong libertarian and I can't even remember the basic principles. I know one that, let's see, non-aggression, freedom of association, and another. Yeah. It's like, why do you care who I'm hanging out with? You know, we're not going to get up in the tower with rifles and start capping people unless we're playing Grand Theft Auto, and that's another story. Ugh. Whew. Damn. This stuff's not bad, but it's almost like Coors. You can enjoy it, but then the aftertaste gets to you. Let's see. In making this case, Burke clarifies that these institutions are necessary to ensure that unfettered individual liberty does not trespass on the liberty of anyone else, and that such a trespass is in fact an injustice. Well, no shit. Why am I forced to pay for someone's abortion because she was a dumb bitch and, you know, she's trying to trap her Chad or Tyrone and has unprotected sex, and then she decides to have an abortion? Well, you know, I'm against abortion, so I'm not going to have one. But why should I have to pay for you having one? Let's see now. Let's see. So they're trying to push the leftist agenda again a little further in this article. They say, arguments generally pit us against a narrow freedom to definition of rights, one which does not take into account how being able to live a healthy, productive life is not only a right in itself, but also a necessary condition for our capacity to enjoy other rights. So rather than accept the terms of this debate, we need to change the context. See? That's it. And that's what leftists do. That they'll take a situation and they will change the code words, and then suddenly, well, you know, it's like one of my in-laws, gay was part of her name, and it's like once the militant homosexuals took over, she wouldn't even call herself by that name because it said it's been compromised. So, okay. So here's how they do the swirl. Contemporary human rights doctrine summarizes the argument precisely. There is no hierarchy of human rights such that civil rights take precedence over economic and social rights. All human rights are interrelated and essential for human flourishing. So, now they can say, see, you hate these people because you don't want them to have free health care. Or you hate these people because you're not allowing them to have an abortion on the public dime. I'll be right back, folks. Oh, sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next article. Now, this one, I've only got a little snip. This is excuse me, from a Wikipedia article. It is about the Four Freedom Speech by one of the Democrat heroes, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This raggedy motherfucker was a disguised socialist. And you're saying, what? But he helped us win World War II. Well, we don't need to go there. We're just going to stick with the source material. So, in January 6, 1941, President Roosevelt gave a State of the Union address in which he discussed the four freedoms. Now, I think it was the Monroe Doctrine said, you raggedy motherfuckers over there in Europe, stay the fuck away from me or we gonna break it off in your ass. You know, that this is my playground, I do what the fuck I want. And because we were separated, the Atlantic Ocean back in the day, but before steam and, diesel naval vessels, whew, you show up at the wrong time, get caught in a storm, it's your ass. The Pacific, of course, has lots of storms, but it's a lot bigger. The Atlantic, it can be nasty in places. So, let's see now. So, we were tending to be isolationist because back in the day, it was difficult to actually intervene in affairs in Europe. It was like, well, what the fuck we want to do that for? We're busy. Now, due to the Neutrality Act, the United States was forbidden to aid people engaged in war. So even though, we're friendly with Britain, legally we could not help them. So he introduced the Lend-Lease Bill. In which the British got 50 overage destroyers that were just hanging out, and we got some island, I can't remember which one it is offhand. So the speech delivered by President Roosevelt incorporated the following text, known as the Four Freedoms. In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world. And now see, he's doing good up to now, and now he makes the hard swerve. Oh, let's see. Oh, no? Okay, to the left. Yes. The third is freedom from want, which translated into world terms means economic understandings which will secure to every nation a healthy, peacetime life for its inhabitants everywhere in the world. The fourth is freedom from fear, which translated into world terms means a worldwide reduction of armaments to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor anywhere in the world. And he claimed that adopting these principles would preserve freedom. But you look at the last two, that's leftist feel good bullshit. No. Well, geez, I want to smoke a blunt. Can I go out and smack somebody in the head, steal his money so I can buy one? See? Or, I want a Rolls Royce. Can I burn down the dealership if I apply for one and they tell me, fuck you, you don't have enough money? See? But, leftists is like, I want, gimme. And if they don't get it, it's Big Daddy government. What the fuck is that? Oh, sorry, Eddie, I've been ignoring you. Yes. Biggest perpetrators of gun violence are single mothers' kids, but no one ever. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Yet, yes, sir, it's beyond evil. Yeah, yes, New York. I grew up in Buffalo, and I could not wait to get out of that raggedy motherfucker. Oh, and were you? I don't know if you live in New York City, Eddie, but I did take a vacation in 2001. Wanted to go tour the Statue of Liberty, but the dumbasses had everything closed down. And we couldn't even get on the island. And for those of you living elsewhere, all the stories you heard about how nasty New York City drivers are, it's worse than that. All right, now, here is one from The Art of Manliness. And this one, I've got 2 items in here to share with you. Now, freedom from, they say, is negative freedom, and freedom to is positive freedom. And they say the splitting of freedom into this binary framework can be traced at least back to Kant. I believe that's Immanuel Kant. Brooklyn, yeah, buddy. It was articulated by Erich Fromm in his 1941 work, Escape from Freedom, made famous by Isaiah Berlin's 1958 essay, Two Concepts of Liberty, and explored more modernly by Charles Taylor. Damn, I may have to check those guys out. Let's see now. So, negative freedom is freedom from external interference that prevents you from doing what you want. And that's why you're a man going your own way. Because you're tired of raggedy bitches telling you, hell no, you can't go out and have a beer with your friends. You need to stay here and watch the kids while I go out. Well, where's the fairness in that, bitch? But, with the matriarchy, things aren't fair for men. Let's see. Negative freedom is freedom from external interference that prevents you from doing what you want when you want to do it. These restrictions are placed on you by other people. Well, no shit. Yeah, good job there. The concept of negative freedom can be summed up as, quote, I am a slave to no man, unquote. Now, that doesn't mean if you work for somebody, you're a slave. At least fortunately here in America, if they treat you like shit, you can say, hey, take this job and shove it up your ass. I'm out of here. Let's see, positive freedom is the freedom to control and direct one's own life. Yeah, buddy. That's where we are. Those of us who are brothers of the Red Pill Awakening. Positive freedom allows a man to consciously make his own choices, create his own purpose, and shape his own life. He acts instead of being acted upon. Now, that's a nice little reference there. So let me find it. I'll read you both of these. Charles Taylor calls negative freedom an opportunity concept of freedom because it gives you access to a range of desirable opportunities. And Taylor calls positive freedom an exercise concept because it involves discriminating between all possible opportunities and exercising the options that are most in line with your real will and what you truly want in life. The concept of positive freedom can be summed up as I am my own master. And if you're a man going your own way, you perfectly understand that. You don't have no raggedy motherfucker throwing shade on you saying you can't do this. You know, bitch, get the fuck out of my way before I pimp hand your sorry ass. I do what the fuck I want, Mr. Elite says, more or less. That's right. You know that, and that's a libertarian concept as well. You know, I got the freedom to do this. I've got the freedom to go for a walk. Now, of course, you might get in trouble if you're doing this near the police station, but in some states, you can stroll down the street smoking a blunt. Nobody gives a fuck. That's right. That's freedom. I mean, and see, nobody's forcing another person to do something they don't want to do. It's like, just leave me the hell alone. Let me do my own thing. Even if it's something that could harm me if I fuck up, it's just me. It has nothing to do with you. So why are you throwing shade on me telling me I can't? It's none of your fucking business. Let's see now. So, you can think of liberty. Oh, this is from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, which I didn't even know exists. I may have to check that out. One can think of liberty as the absence of obstacles internal to the agent. Let's see now. Damn, I'm trying to condense this on the fly, so I kind of lost that. But right here at the end, this makes sense. Let's see. One might say that liberty is simply about how many doors are open to you, and the other is going through the right doors for the right reasons. Well, that's what any free man should do, you know. And especially a man who is, you know, as I've said before, you know, if God has touched your spirit and it's at peace, and He has removed the stress from your life so your mind is right, and it don't matter where your body is. And that means you now have the discernment to choose the right doors, the ones that will increase your karma and fulfill your manifest destiny. And as long as you're not hurting anybody else, it don't matter what these other raggedy motherfuckers say. Because no one's going to take care of you but you. Let's see now. Applying the concepts of negative and positive freedom in a man's life. Let's see. Stage 1, childhood. Low negative freedom, low positive freedom. Well, you're a kid. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Although I have to admit, man, you know, it makes you wonder, why is it that the best time of your life, you think about it, all you did was play, eat, and shit, and sleep. That was it. And it's like, you know, you got other people, you know, setting boundaries, but other than that, you're free to do almost anything you want. You know, anything that gives you pleasure that won't hurt you or hurt another person. That's what you did. And it's almost a shame that we can't remember those times. You know, studies have shown that a person has developed their basic personality by the time they're 6 years old. And that's the time when you're the most free. And if you have wise parents who give you subtle guidance while you're doing that, you're going to turn out to be all right. But it's like, damn, why can't I remember that? So, let's see. Young adulthood. High negative freedom, low positive freedom. Now, I remember me, it's like, whew, my mom was, or my foster mom turned out, was so strict. I got my ass lit up for bullshit. I mean, literally. And even though I was in college, I was still living at home and had a curfew. And what I got threatened to get kicked out of the house because I came home one night and I was tipsy. It was like such a buzzkill. You're there, you're having a good time, and then you got to straighten up and act sober when you walk in the house. So you figure you go off to college for the first time in your life. There's nobody staring over your shoulder telling you what to do or giving you the pimp hand because they say you fucked up. You know, you can do whatever you want. And I gotta admit, it was a little rough for me. Because I was so happy to get away that, I failed to, focus on what was important, which was studying. Yeah, I mean, I did try, but it was, but, let's not think about lost opportunities. Since that was well over 40 years ago, we need to pick up the needle and move it forward on this record. Let's see now. So, and they make a point of saying, freedom to do what you want does not mean you're free from the repercussions of those choices. Yes, and that's a thing that Mormon theology emphasizes as well. You're free to make choices, but you're not free from the consequences. Which is why I never smoked crack. Hell no. Emerging adulthood, high negative freedom, increasing positive freedom. So, eventually you hopefully develop a little discernment and you say, well, there's lots of stuff I can do, but how important is it? Yeah, it's like that was my mistake. Uh, beer drinking and girl chasing is not a college major with a minor in dope smoking on the side. Yeah, that no. I mean that's fun, but should be a little lower on the scale, and it's unfortunately a lesson I didn't learn till it was too late. So as your mindset changes, you start deciding, hey, wow, some of this stuff, it's more important because you see the value in yeah, and it's like if you give in the base impulses and all you do is party and try to smash sorority thoughts, well, yeah, that's fun, but you're not really advancing. If you reorient your mindset and you focus on something more important, you climb a set of the stairs, and now there's a whole nother group of doors that you can open. Yeah. It's like, yeah. But then, there are also obstacles, and not all of them are external. One like, let's see, you want to get married, but your shyness prevents you from talking to women. Oh, got a witness. You want to graduate college, but your lack of discipline keeps you from studying and making passing grades. Oh shit, they got me again. You want to complete an Ironman, but you're fat and out of shape. Well, I'm skinny and out of shape, but there's no way this old guy is going to do an Ironman. I've seen, oh shit. That's like too extreme, man. You want to be financially independent, but you can't control your spending. Shit, were they reading my mind when they did this article? You want to live the tenets of your new faith, but you keep backsliding. You want to keep a job, but you can't stop drinking and showing up hungover. You want to become a congressman, but you have a fear of public speaking. Oh, now, here's the goodie. You want to become a man, but you don't know what that means. And these poor kids today, they don't have a fucking clue. These, he gets Undead Chronic. He's calling the kids soy-based life forms. And it's like, yeah, as I said in my response video, you kids have been so indoctrinated in this bullshit that you don't know what it means to be a man. And being a man doesn't mean giving some woman the pimp hand. No. So, assuming you survived, to get to stage 4, we have high negative freedom, high positive freedom. So, oh man. Oh, this is good. While people are no longer imposing external restrictions on you, and if you're a man going your own way, that's absolutely true. You decide that in order to become the man you want to be, you'll have to come up with your own rules for yourself and set your own limits. You willingly work on developing your self-control, self-discipline, and willpower. It's like, hell yeah. In so doing, you gain the ability to control your lower desires in order to fulfill your higher desires. And that's true. By learning to control your desires, you're becoming more autonomous. Now, me, it's taken me a while to get to the point where I know I need to increase the amount of self-validation I have. Because I admit it, even now, even though I'm trying harder, I'm still seeking validation from others. When I know, the real validation comes from within and above. So, and I'll admit, I do get a smile when I check the notifications and someone has liked a comment I did on a video or responded. It's like, yeah. It makes me happy to know that what I said resonated with somebody. And I got to keep telling myself that this is the kind of external validation that I can accept without guilt, because I know, it's a brother that said it. I know he doesn't have some bullshit agenda where he's gonna turn on me, or he's gonna, or if I'm talking to some woman, I think everything's going, and all of a sudden she's accusing me of something. Like, wait a minute, what did I do? Yeah. And that the current culture says here a lot of guys get stuck in stage two. They're stuck in the nasty, ridiculous culture we're stuck in, where it emphasizes negative freedom as the end all be all. Happiness equals being able to do whatever you like. Well, yeah, I excuse me. I certainly enjoy being able to, like I did a while back, 10 o'clock. Well, what the hell? Let's go to IHOP and eat breakfast. Yeah. That was great. I was like, oh, let's see. It's Saturday. I can just sleep in and be lazy all day because I worked hard Friday. Yeah, yes. I worked hard Friday on the man cave, so I had no guilt about sleeping and being lazy on Saturday. Let's see. So, let's see. Men who shift from thinking exclusively about negative freedom to thinking about positive freedom will discover that the restrictions they place on themselves do not limit their negative freedom. Self-discipline does close off some possibilities. It opens new ones only available to those who have the positive freedom to grasp them. Yes. Whoa, wow. Yes. And as a man going your own way, absolutely. Once you break those chains of negativity and self-doubt and seeking validations from others, now you can go do whatever you want, man. That's the good part. But a lot of people say, oh, something you want that needs some effort, and suddenly you say, geez, that door's locked. I don't need to go that way. Well, what the hell did you just do? You just gave up on your dream. What for? Because society says that this is not something desirable? Because society says the path you're taking is invalid? If you're not hurting anybody else, it's nobody's fucking business where you go. That's right. Because as a man going your own way, you have turned away from that blue pill existence. And there is no raggedy motherfucker that should be able to shame you into going back to the plantation. No. And I'll admit, you got a witness right here. The man child, he would high dive into the blue pill. But that little raggedy motherfucker is in maximum security. Fuck him. He can cry and moan all he wants. He can make the rest of me hurt all he wants. That little bitch needs to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. Because the freedom that I have now, oh hell no. No. I ain't giving that shit up. Like I've said elsewhere, there's got to be a lot of shit that goes on before I even think about going on a unicorn hunt now. I mean, I sure did think about it before, but it's like, it seems like, I think about it and almost every day more news comes out that shows what a bad deal it is for men that associate with women. That not all the time. I'm just saying as far as a marriage relationship. Yeah, it's like wow. It makes me wonder. How long is it going to be before it is hockey mask time? Because I've got maybe 4 years to go before I can officially retire on the max Social Security. But I'm thinking, man, it seems like things are getting so jacked up. I may not make it to October 5th, 2022. Think that, this motherfucker may burn to the ground beforehand. But, I'm going to improvise, adapt, and overcome like I always do. So, let's see. So, the article goes on to say that a man that does not, there we go, that does not mature past a singular focus on freedom from, see all restrictions, whether imposed by others or imposed by self. Oh, I already talked about that. Let's see. Yeah, for this reason, men who get stuck in stage 2, and let me go back and remind myself of what stage 2 is. Let's see. That's stage 4. Okay, stage 2, young adulthood. High negative freedom, low positive freedom. Let's see, if they discover that something they want is behind a locked door, instead of working on overcoming that inner obstacle, they shrug their shoulders and decide they didn't really want it anyway. For this reason, men who get stuck in stage 2 make less progress in life and never reach the highest levels of self-actualization. I'm really surprised they actually use that term. Freedom from dwellers also end up being restless and dissatisfied with their lives. Feeling in control of your life creates happiness and satisfaction. And feeling in control comes from gaining positive freedom from self-mastery. Excuse me. A man with positive freedom makes a strong connection between his purpose, what he has to give up to obtain that purpose, and the fact that he does so willingly. He understands the law of sacrifice and takes ownership of and responsibility for his choices. And that's what we all need to do, brothers. I mean, I believe me, I give myself the pimp hand more than once for spending too much money or spending money in the vending machine. Excuse me. Oh shit. Well, here's the money shot right here. Finally, the advantage of cultivating a rich wellspring of positive freedom is that while a man's negative freedom can be taken away by others, his reserve of positive freedom is an untouchable power source that can sustain him no matter how his external conditions change or what dire circumstances befall him. Yeah. And they mentioned, now that some of you may remember Viktor Frankl. He wrote about his experiences in a German prisoner of war camp in a book called Man's Search for Meaning. Very powerful. I remember reading this as a kid, and I highly recommend it. And it's just like I said on a Facebook post a while back. if God has touched your soul and your spirit is at peace, and that has enabled your mind to become calm and rational, to, don't matter where your body is. And I mean, literally, that I that was the attitude that sort of codified in that post, and that happened on a Monday. You know, most times people say Monday, oh, nasty, can't handle it. I didn't give a fuck, and literally, even though I was in unpleasant working conditions, but you know, dirty, noisy, nasty, dangerous environment, a 10-hour day. I didn't care. I posted on Facebook, I laugh at Mondays. And I'm still doing it. I was like, Mondays ain't shit. It don't mean nothing. Because if you got your mind right, it don't matter. Alrighty now. Let's see. Nope. I think I'll switch that one. I think, I think I'll skip that one. Go to the end here. So, you may remember that I've talked about every now and then a gentleman named Robert J. Ringer, and believe me, if you peruse a used bookstore and you find any of his books, you buy them. Yes. I remember reading Winning Through Intimidation back in the day, and I was so blue-pilled that the message didn't take, but it's a solid message. And in that book, the basic principle was people will try to throw shade on you and overpower you in an alpha male role, and not always for physical dominance, like in a barroom brawl, but just because they can. And he talks about how he decided, I'm tired of being on the downhill side of a turd avalanche, and I'm going to get my shit together. Excuse me. And he talked about not only what happens, when you are intimidated by other people, but how you can make it work for you, and not in an alpha male physical dominance respect, by establishing a presence. So, but little quick side rant here. He talked about, he was a real estate broker, and he decided he was going to step his game up. He made a fancy ass brochure. I mean, this was like almost a coffee table book. And then he said, he researched and he found out it didn't really cost that much if he was efficient in actually renting a jet to go places. So you imagine, okay, you're looking at, let's say you're going to build a widget factory over here, and the agent says he's going to meet you at the airport at 3:00. And there you are. Fucking Learjet pulls up. 3-4 secretaries come out, and then the man shows up. He's got his shit wired so tight, it's like, okay, I've already got these pre-made agreements. Yeah, he made a point of saying, no, this is not a contract. This is just an agreement. Because if you say contract, suddenly they say, oh, I need my lawyer. And it's like, no. We can keep this on the down low. And he said he actually made a series of like semi-standard forms because, once he started paying attention, he knew the type of situations would come up. He says, oh, you're worried about property taxes? Okay, here's a form it's got almost everything else filled out, but it talks about property taxes. How about rental rate? Okay, here we go. Here's one that has rental rate. And he would bring secretaries with him, so if they had a disagreement and he wanted a change in the contract, he'd have the bitch type up a new contract right then. No, it ain't. Oh, no. You ain't gonna take time to think about it. You said you wanted it. Bam, here it is. Sign this motherfucker. They're like, yeah. So, and it wasn't to push on people. He was working hard, trying to make money, and people would fuck with him and throw shade and lie to him, and that's why he started doing that. So he said the combination of having an impressive, an impressive presence and being prepared is what made him a success. And, being able to do his thing without these raggedy motherfuckers throwing shade. And it's like, oh, you trying that shit? Okay, here you go, bitch. Here's this piece of paper my bro already signed. Now, he said, even though he did all this stuff, it didn't always work. He even mentioned one time where, I mentioned in another video the deal called the lawyer to lawyer unwritten friendship rule or something like that is in effect, where, two lawyers are, if you almost think they'd be in the cage with knives. But then after the trial is over, they're hugging each other and talking about playing golf and swizzling scotch. And you're standing there saying, like, what the fuck happened? So he's like, once that, he even, he said, well, the buyer has a lawyer and the seller has a lawyer. Why shouldn't I have a lawyer there? And people were shocked when the lawyer showed up and says, yeah, I'm representing the broker. What? Yeah, that's right. You bitches need to tighten your shit up, because I'm here to make sure you don't give the pimp hand to my client here. Like, yeah. So, he has a book called Looking Out for Number One, which I'm going to have to actually break down, actually make an online purchase through Amazon, I guess, to buy a copy, because this guy's message is so important, especially for you Red Pill brothers. I'm going to study and present that book as its own video. But I have the words of the man himself. Mr. Ringer is deceased now, but this is what he wrote. Let's see, this is 2013. And the title of the article is Why Looking Out for Number One is Noble. He says over the years he's taken a lot of flack, especially from the media, for the title of his New York Times #1 bestseller, Looking Out for Number One. As near as I've been able to tell, however, those who have been the most offended by the title never took the trouble to actually read the book. And that is so typical of leftists. They've got someone else whispering in their ear saying, this is a raggedy motherfucker here. You need to break it off in his ass. And it's like, oh, you don't know why. You just got your marching orders. Oh, man. Okay, excuse me, folks. I'll be right back. All right, sorry, folks. Ugh. Yeah, he also mentioned that people gave him a hard time for the title of his other book, Winning Through Intimidation, and he said that it reminded him of a Ayn Rand book, and I can't remember the exact title, but it's something like The Virtue of Selfishness. And they asked her, why would you name a book like that? And she said, because it makes you uncomfortable. Like, oh, okay. So let's see here. Given the increasing popularity of socialism in America and throughout the Western world, I thought it might be a good time to revisit the meaning of the often misunderstood title of my book. When I use the term looking out for number one, I am referring to the conscious effort to make rational decisions that lead to the greatest amount of happiness over the long term, so long as the actions stemming from those decisions do not involve the use of force or fraud against anyone else. Now, I would like to take this, superglue earphones to some of these leftist fools' heads and play that one phrase over and over until they understand that shit. I mean, nope. I mean, really, no one's saying that you don't have a issue you think is valid. No one's saying you shouldn't say we need to address this. But you raggedy motherfuckers act like, it's a coin. The only thing is okay, the one side, you're a cheerleader. You're totally on board with our agenda. And then, if you say anything negative about what they're talking about, they flip the coin over. Oh, you're a hater. Fuck you. Like, damn. But that's the way these kids have been brainwashed to believe these days. Now, I love this next part. Long-term thinking is a critical aspect of looking out for number one, because short-term pleasure can be self-destructive if not weighed against long-term consequences. Yeah, I mean, now I'll admit I was dumb. It was a while back, but I did meth a couple times. Now, maybe it's just because I'm a little different than everybody else, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. I was like, yeah, it was okay, but shit. If I wanna rush like that, I'll just chug 3 or 4 energy shots from the dollar store. I'm good to go, baby. Yeah, tell you what. You take these dollar shots. I'll take that $40 you were gonna spend on meth, and we'll both be happy. How about that? Now, everybody tries to make decisions that lead to more pleasure and less pain. I mean, that's a human obvious deal. But when you do it, you're not always rational. And that's the issue, man. Leftists think, well, I don't know if think is even the right word. They operate on emotions so much. I mean, it's like Undead Chronic did a response video, and it was showing some woman's march. I mean, this gal was like Sinead O'Connor's stunt double. Bald and nasty looking. Sinead O'Connor was okay, but I like my bitches with some hair, okay? Put a wig on. So this guy was talking to this bald feminist, and I gotta give the guy fucking hardcore points because this bitch is, you know, right next to him and screaming in his face. And he says, I have no problem with equality, men and women equal. And she's like, no, we want it all. Well, what the fuck? How can you negotiate with somebody who says your position doesn't even qualify as worth a word? What the fuck? Yeah, it's like, you know, here we are, men going our own way, and we're trying to make rational choices based on what's gonna help me and not hurt someone else. But if you're in the blue pilled existence, you're literally, all of your actions are based on what other people want. They don't give a fuck about you. I know when I was married, what are you supposed to do when it don't matter what you do, if it interferes with the other one's agenda, it's evil, and oh no, you can't do that. And they don't care how much it hurts you that you can't fulfill your destiny. It's just like, oh no, that's not what I want. So you can't do what you want. What? But I'm not stopping you from getting what you want. I'm here helping you get what you want. But when I try to get what I want, suddenly it's evil? Yeah, it's like, what kind of attitude is that? Mr. Ringer here, himself says, when people ask me if it's moral to look out for number one, I tell them that in deciding the answer to that question, the first thing they should do is eliminate from consideration the unsolicited opinions of others. Like I said, as I've said elsewhere, I have zero problem with a brother coming up and telling me I'm as fucked up as a football bat about something. Excuse me. But that's because I know my red pill brothers are operating on a rational, logical basis. When if you go to a protest against abortion and you say abortion is murder, and then some bitch says, oh, you hate women. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't even ask you, bitch. Back the fuck up. It's like, we're not aggressively attacking people. We did the fucking swerve and we're off there to the side. Why are you so upset? Because we decided that, we're in the casino and we suddenly realize every game is rigged. And we say, fuck this, I'm taking my chips and going away. And now we're hearing, what was that TFM line? Who hurt you? I'm not the same as all them other bitches. You can trust me. Yeah, get the fuck out of my face. No. I mean, really. And he says it good right here. Let's see. The question of whether it is right to look out for number one can best be answered with another question. Can you think of any rational reason why you should not try to make your life more pleasurable and less painful, so long as your actions do not harm anyone else? Yeah. And that's what I told myself during my days of drifting when I was homeless, sleeping in the back of my Jeep. Some people were saying, oh, geez, that's so hard on you. And I'm like, well, so what? I'm not hurting anybody else. I mean, if I had a family, I would have been working a lot harder to obtain permanent lodging. And it was just me. I was like, things will work out in time. Meanwhile, I make do with what I got. And he says, you have but one life to live. Is there anything unreasonable about nurturing that life and doing everything within your power to make it pleasant and fulfilling? Well, for some reason, a lot of these feminazis seem to have a problem with us just saying fuck you and walking away from the casino. Oh, and as a very quick side rant, yeah, we walked away from the casino. When the artificial womb is developed, that motherfucker's gonna burn to the ground. Yeah, buddy. It's like, damn. oh, this whole paragraph is nice, but he broke it down in one line. Trying to please everyone is a well-known formula for unhappiness. And yeah, and although, you try, I would bet those of you who remember your blue pill days remember how sometimes you're off by yourself and you get hot enough to barbecue on, saying, damn, I'm giving up all the stuff I love. I'm giving up my time, my energy, my money, and I'm still getting a bitch hand. And even worse, if you're, heavily indoctrinated into that blue-pilled simp existence, you're sacrificing your own well-being to people that just happen to show up because your spouse says you need to do this, and use that okay, or people that aren't even in your life doing it for somebody that you don't even know inadvertently. Now, he makes a note of saying that, focusing on your personal happiness, that doesn't stop you from being kind, charitable, or civic-minded. No, hell no. But the thing is, it's your choice to make, not someone else's. It doesn't stop you from being a team player. It doesn't even stop you from being in a relationship with somebody. But, all these can result in long-term happiness for you, but you're doing it with your eyes open and knowing female nature, knowing the consequences of being in a compromising situation, knowing that you could be Me Too'd at any time. It makes you check yourself. And it's not that you shouldn't help people. If all you're doing is sacrificing for them, they don't appreciate it. I mean, my ex sure didn't seem to appreciate it. All she did was push and get me to give up more because she could push. That was the weird part. There I am giving up more and more, and she's still unhappy. I'm pretty much clueless. Looking out for yourself doesn't harm people. It puts you in a better position to help people because you're more aware of who you are, where you are in your mind, and how you can most effectively use your talents to help others. And it's not a crime for you to take a step back and focus on yourself so you can keep your head out of your ass for more than 5 seconds at a time. then, like I said, you check that stopwatch, you're up to 10 seconds, okay, now, if it's your choice, not theirs, then you can spend the time to help other people. You can spend the time to nurture that relationship. But you've got to realize that if you're fucked up, you're not helping anybody, and you're definitely not helping yourself. Looking out for number one, not to harm others, but it helps people that you love, and if you are focused you're focused on yourself and you got your own shit together, not only are you better with that significant other or your family, you're better at your job, and you're helping out people you don't even know. If you're as fucked up as a football bat and the company you're working for is going out of business because you're the engineer working on the project, but you're so fucked up you can't focus. Well, geez, that now there's 20 people that are out of work. Yeah. Because so gentlemen, if you are self-sufficient, centered, balanced, and focused, you are not a burden to society. You are a benefit. So, gentlemen, oh my goodness, I've been ranting for 2 hours. I think I need to ease my ass on up out of here, because I know you're tired of hearing this raggedy motherfucker talk. But, gentlemen, I tell you that you may have been few, but I don't care. I know more of you will eventually see me on the rebroadcast. It don't matter that I think Eddie MGTOW, you the man. He stuck with me through the whole broadcast. And and thank you, Sigma Solitude, for stopping by and saying hi. I know you said you were busy and you tried to get by. I'm glad you stopped in long enough to say hi to me. You're the man. Sorry I missed you, Mr. Elite, but you can always catch this on the rebroadcast. So, gentlemen, this has absolutely been a pleasure. It was a little more stressful than I expected it to be, but I managed to get over that quickly, and you got to see my semi-handsome face. Before we go, yeah. I would give you the nickel tour of the cave. So, let me see now. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, can I switch this around? Let me see here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, let's head over here. Alrighty now. So, now, as you come in the room, now I've got this shelving unit that I made from plywood, and I will have a future video showing how I put this together, because I believe it is a valuable technique. If you need quick furniture that you can put together in a hurry and take apart in a hurry, disassemble it, it doesn't take up much space, you're in good shape. Now, this is more or less my video setup. Now, here's the TV, and right here is the tripod. I got the camera set up. See, it looks just like that. And here's Here's my PS2 and the Xbox. Usually I have the music laptop sitting right here. And here's my other laptop. This is my good one that has the pictures on it. So that one's usually set up right there. And I'm usually sitting right here next to everything. Now, I still have to get things together, because, I've got curtains over the windows because I don't want no fucking light in the man cave because it don't matter what time it is. But, it isn't much, but I am very happy to be here. And I am very happy to be associated with you brothers. So, there we go. So, brothers, let me get in the light here. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my celebration with you. I really appreciate it. Move over. There we go. So, I tell you, it's a work day. I gotta be up at 3:30 tomorrow, and it's after 8. So the old guy is gonna relax and finally eat some dinner. I was so excited I couldn't eat. And oh, there we go. That looks better. And oh, believe me, brothers, this has been an absolute pleasure. I promise the next live stream I will be a little more prepared and smooth. It was a little rough on the old guy, but I thoroughly enjoyed it and I plan to do it again. And I believe that might be in a week's time or maybe sooner. But you never know. But brothers, thank you so much for hanging with me. I hope I gave you a few nuggets of information that you can enjoy. And you know what I say. Some of the best days of your life haven't happened yet.